Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Super exciting, right?
Yeah, so exciting.
So we're here today together for the first launching of Down Syndrome 21st Perspectives. It's a podcast that we're looking to engage our audience around providing information, creating awareness, creating community, and then also opportunities for advocacy.
And we're very excited about this. So this was developed over coffee at our favorite coffee spot. It's where we all met.
Shout out to Craig.
Yes, shout out to Craig, the barista who makes amazing coffee. Anyways, so
well, it does have some significance because I met Monique years before I had Fritz, who had Down syndrome, and we just hit it off talking in the coffee line. For some reason, I got your phone number.
Yeah.
I don't know if we were running or
our kids went to school together.
Oh,
our older kids went to Lamar together.
So we got each other's phone, or I got her phone number. And years later, I had a surprise baby who also surprised us with Down syndrome. And I was shocked and I was lost and I don't want to say embarrassed, but I was just like, oh no, like I didn't want to do this. I just didn't want to do this. And I knew anybody with Down syndrome except for Monique. And so I just remember, I can visualize where I was. Like I was in the elevator, I'm going to call her. And I just called you. And you were great. You're still great. Like you still calm me down regularly. So that all happened because of coffee at Whole Foods, right?
Absolutely.
And Monique, you had experience with this. So tell us your story.
Yeah, absolutely. So as Ann said, we met in the Whole Foods line and getting coffee. And who would have thought? That was years in the making, right? And then Marley, I have my son, who's 18 years old. And I had shared with Ann on many occasions, just pictures. We talk about the kids, her kids at school and that kind of thing. Not even knowing, obviously, that you were going to be blessed with a child with Downs. And so fast forward, I do recall that conversation very vividly as well. Ann called me. She said, "Hey, Monique, do you have a few minutes to talk?" And I still get choked up just thinking about it because it was so meaningful to me that you felt that you could reach out, right? That meant that you felt that we had a trusting relationship, right? Yeah. And so I remember just encouraging you and letting you know that, hey, this is the plan, and everything is gonna be amazing, right? And now Fritz is what, 4 now?
5.
5.
Yeah.
Look at that, 5 years ago today. Mm-hmm. And Marley's, of course, 18. And so I think that's one of the beautiful things, too, about this podcast is that we're going to get to see and share different vantage points based upon our experiences with our own kids. Right. And then also embracing our community.
Yes, I love it.
And I kind of got myself going down a different path with Fritz and with things that are available. And I feel like Monique's kind of always brought me back, those things, and we'll talk about them on further episodes, I know, but they're stressful, they can be helpful, but overall, I think that they're not as necessary as people claim they can be. So, and another thing I was reading when I was thinking about doing this podcast, they were saying in 1983, the life expectancy of somebody with Down syndrome was 25 years old. And today it's 60 years old.
Yes.
Wow.
And so the need to be aware and advocate for children with Down syndrome is huge because they can live longer. And if they're going to live longer, they should be living the most, just like all of us. We just want to, we don't want to just live
opportunity
in a nursing home,
right,
not doing well. We want to live.
Absolutely.
And it's the same. So we need to be aware of all the things. And
that's what we're going to do here.
Yes.
We're going to explore that and create a platform for that, right? To have those conversations and to create networking opportunities, to bring guests on that are going to be able to share. We're going to have some fun, right? And just really, that's what's most exciting to me about it, because we are creating the space for people to come and to hear and to listen and to share. And with no really, I don't see it having any other motive other than that. I think that one of the things that we were talking about in terms of when do we want to launch and how, what are we thinking about is, so when you think about when I was thinking about a launch date, thinking about the National Down Syndrome Awareness Day, right, which is March 21st. And so hence, this is why we're launching on March 21st in observance of that day.
Yeah. And my role here is just going to be to help the conversation go along. I have a background in journalism and, got to meet these two amazing ladies at Whole Foods as we sit over coffee. And our conversation started, Anne, when you were looking for Fritz to start working with like flashcards and helping him. And I thought,
was there to help me make a little web
video,
make a video for him to learn, read. And when Monique came to me and said she wants to do a podcast, I thought, I know a producer. It's like in our little triangle of talking right here.
And I'm happy to help out. And just my little backstory is my mom had a dancing school, and there was one of her students who had a brother with Down syndrome. And he always wanted to be in charge of the dance class. And I loved that my mom stopped the dance class, handed him the reins.
Wow.
And it was such a beautiful thing. And he would move the kids all over the room, wherever he thought they should be standing. You go here, you go there, you go here, you go there. He would show them moves. It was precious. It was a precious moment, one I never forgot. And I'm so excited to be a part of this because I see through Fritz and through your child, there's so many things. Everybody, they can do more and more and more and more.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I think helping to talk about these things.
Yeah. And speaking of dancing, Fritz loves to dance and so does Marley.
That's
we're going to share some clips of them.
I wrote that down because in, again, my research of National Down Syndrome Awareness Month, there was lots of different news stations that was doing a tribute to it.
Yeah.
And they interviewed a lot of kids on all these different sites that I went to.
Yeah.
All the kids, they would say, like, what do you love? What don't you like? Because showing that they're just like all of us,
Exactly.
And anyways, dance and music. And I thought, well, isn't that stereotypical?
Yeah.
But it turns out
it's true.
It be true. The fact that they're all nice all the time, that's definitely not true.
Right. Exactly. They have their own personalities of their own.
I love it.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I think I think we share that, they're very, for Marley anyway, and I don't have to speak plurals, but Marley's very determined. Mm-hmm. He's also he's driven by his own interest, right? If I'm telling him something that he doesn't want to do, he's going to be like, no, I'm not doing it.
Right.
I'm not doing that.
Right.
Even when he was 5 years old. Now he's 18. Oh my God.
We're putting Fritz in baseball, literally, and it starts in a couple weeks. And, he's always loved to hit the baseball. But now, if he doesn't hit the ball the way he likes to hit it, it's like pounding it's funny to see that he's just not like aloof, like, oh, well.
Right.
He's determined. He wants to hit it the way he wants to hit it.
Yeah.
He knows if it's a dinky little roll ball versus
exactly
drive.
Yeah. So we know that they are very determined. Our kids, we speak for, if you will, a community. Yes. And groups that are capable, very capable. We want them to be included. We want the community to understand that they have the same desires, wants, needs, goals.
Right.
How they accomplish them may vary, but they're all the same, right?
Well, and that message needs to start in the womb, basically, because another thing is so many women's stories start with the call saying, your child that we just tested in utero has Down syndrome, and when do you want to abort? That's like automatic next sentence. And when I did not know, and nobody knew, and so when he was born and we found this out, the doom and gloom, literally.
Exactly.
Doom and gloom.
We shared the same thing. We shared that same experience, right?
I got a book given to me. I think it was published in the 1970s. And it was like, your kid won't walk till he's 4. He won't do this. He won't do that. And like, Fritz did all, like,
exceeded all those
Everything wrong, right?
Yeah.
Proved everything wrong.
You almost like want to go back to the hospital with them and be like, see?
Exactly. I know I do.
But if I would have listened and not gone home and been a kind of person that I am who's going to research to death and found certain sites that I did and certain people, I would have been like, oh, well, let's just sit on my couch and watch Sesame Street all day because this kid can't learn anything. Versus, it does take a little extra work.
It does.
More repetitions and
so probably some of what will happen here is sharing some of that information. You both have such a wealth of information. I've been so impressed with how many things you know and how many sources to go to. And I mean, for Fritz, just getting him reading and recognizing and matching. And I know for Marley, you're walking into possible dating and
everything,
working.
Yeah, exactly.
There are so many. And so I kind of love what I got excited about was the breadth of experience between the two of you that you can share and all the resources. And I know there are goals also that you'd like to help change laws.
right.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
change what's available to kids with Down syndrome.
In Texas.
Yeah, locally.
And we are located in Texas.
Yep.
Certainly love the conversation across the country because there are so many voices and so many families that could probably add to this as we go along.
And
but definitely
things that we could learn.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
They have a lot more.
They do.
Yes.
Than we
Yes.
And to piggyback on what Ann was saying, Marley was born here in Texas as well. 18 years, what was that? Like 13 years prior to Fritz, right? And I felt the same thing that you felt. We did not know we were having a child with Downs. And Marley was born, and I was just excited, obviously, to have a healthy baby. And I remember that feeling in the hospital room as well. Like, oh, what should we say? How should we approach her? Even when he was in the nursery, it was just kind of like everybody was very stoic and I'm thinking, wait a minute now. He's not like a monster. I mean, he is a child clearly that's going to have some special needs, but this is not the reception, right, that I felt that I should be receiving as a parent.
Which then makes you not want to go and share this celebration with anybody else.
Exactly.
You're so confused. You're like, what is this going to be like? I can't do this because of the way they're looking at you. It was delivered with this like, I'm so sorry.
Exactly.
And then it was, in the NICU, did Marley have to go to the NICU? Okay, so Fritz was in the NICU for 18 days and they
went there briefly.
So they do a thing where the doctor comes in once a day. It's whatever doctor's on call. And I got to the point where I said, you're not allowed back in here. I only had like 2 doctors I allowed to come in and check on Fritz. And then nurses, I could pick nurses because there were certain nurses that would say, can I be his nurse tonight? And I'd be like, what? Really? Why? And I just love kids with Down syndrome. And so that helped build me up. And then so I learned, well, if I can pick my nurse, then I can pick my doctor. And I only wanted people on the positive train. Like,
exactly.
That's what I said. And this doctor, I said, I feel like you feel bad for me. And he said, I do. It's going to be a really long, hard life. And so that was the message I got at
You were like, look, excuse me, but Marley was born there too.
Yeah.
Marley was born there. I didn't realize they were born in the same hospital. But fast forward to where we are today. I think that the voices, the experiences that we're going to be sharing on this podcast, not only is it empowering for us as we continue to parent, but it's also going to be empowering for other parents and families and the community as a whole.
Right.
And that's really what I'm most excited about. I think, and we're always sharing like the milestones, and I know that Marley, even though he's 18, of course, chronologically, intellectually, he's not that age, correct? And so we're always working through, and there are times when he's seemingly on an upward thriving mode, if you will, and there are times when he's kind of plateauing. But the reality is that he's still his own unique self, right? And that's the beautiful thing about it. And I'm hoping that we all can share and empower and embrace and I guess engage other families and people who may need that encouragement, for example, or may need to find resources.
Well, and to not feel like any of their feelings are
not valid.
Okay. And,
Yes.
and always is so helpful to hear other people go through what you're going through and to express the same emotions and the same concerns and fears. And like my husband always says, a problem shared is a problem cut in half.
Yeah, I love that.
Love that.
Yeah.
It's true. And I've always been an oversharer. He would always say to me, is there like 10% of our life that we don't have to tell everybody? No, why would we do that? That's no fun.
Well, it's perfect for a podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm an open book.
Sharing is caring.
That's right. That's right. So we are going to be here to share stories, to share information, to talk about how to change the laws for advocacy. And we're hoping that you join us for the next round. So for now, I am Lee for Lisi.
Monique.
And Anne,
And we'll be back.
Yes, thanks for joining us.
thank you.
Bye.